when you look at real world learning, you have to tie it to things that the kids feel will impact them. Any of that kind of stuff where the kid sees a need for it, then it becomes a passion, and then that passion becomes what they really want to learn about, and then you as a teacher kind of take a big step back and let them kind of go with it, and then you become more of a check-in. The kids create their schedule, which is what I love, and then they tell me when they want their checkpoints, and I take a calendar out and we put their checkpoints in. So what am I doing? I'm checking in with groups all over the place, because one group may want to check in 3 days, another group may want to check in right now because they're really excited about it, another group is like, hey, we're struggling. So then I slide groups around accordingly. Then you squeeze the teaching in to those different openings where you go, oh, hey, I don't have anybody tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we're going to do this. On the spot feedback constantly from the kid to the teacher and from the teacher to the kid. My teaching becomes an enrichment to what they're already doing, which makes your time as the teacher sitting there so much more rewarding, because you're floating from group. It allows you to personalize the learning. It allows you to address collaborative efforts.
So this project definitely helped us prepare for the future, because for one reason, we had to work in groups and we had to work on teamwork skills and communication skills to be able to talk with each other. And I feel like more importantly, we also had to deal with setbacks and obstacles, and because sometimes the bumpers, they didn't always work like we expected them to, and we would have to retest them, redesign them, see how they work better. And I feel like this would definitely help us for the future in our lives and careers, because our outcomes will not always be what we expect them to be, and we have to redesign them sometimes or refigure out how we want to go about solving them, and we can't just give up because it didn't work. We have to keep trying.
I think it's different from a normal classroom because you actually get to experience failure, I guess, in like a real world setting. You get more experience with failing and becoming more familiar with failing, and you have to accept it, I think.
So we had to be creative with our solutions, and it kind of made us have to open up our imagination a little bit, because there wasn't just one answer.
They had to collaborate and they had to communicate with one another. Over the course of the week, they hit a handful of different issues, every single group, and they had to figure out how do we overcome these issues. We anticipated our force being so low, and our bumper failed miserably. Back to the drawing board. These are tough setbacks. This requires groups to communicate at a high level, collaborate at a high level, and critically think through some rather difficult problem.
Being a part of the tech squad helped me as a learner, because before I would just kind of sit back in group projects, but now I kind of like take control when it's like needed in group projects.
I learned a lot of things from this class that helped me in my future, but I think the biggest one of them is initiative, because I joined the Marine Corps. I have my contract signed up. I'm sworn in right now in the delayed entry program. I have a ship date to boot camp, and taking initiative is a skill that in this class was really honed. So I learned that in this class, and I'm transferring that to the Marine Corps. One of their biggest leadership traits there is initiative. They want you to be able to do things by yourself.
When you're working on a real-world example, like we've been doing in this class, especially with our internships, you're actually working for a company, and it teaches you basically how the real world works, and how not only can you be a hard worker, but how to be an actual employee. Basically taking a program or an experience and like developing it into your own like child, and kind of seeing how it's growing throughout the entire semester has been one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had.